Hello everyone, welcome to episode 35 of Last Minute FPL. This is Gameweek 35 podcast. Hi Vikas, how are you?
Much better than any of the previous weeks for a long time that I can remember. A free hit week where we actually played our chips. I think all three teams played free hit.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Definitely, let's get into it.
Yeah, not much to separate the teams this week, and yeah, we should definitely celebrate it because it hasn't been common occurrence. We'll look at last week's points. We'll start with the AI team. So the AI team got 89 points on the free hit. Pretty much all the template free hit picks paid off. Cunha, Ait Nouri, Luis Diaz, Newcastle, triple up, all returning. Jose Sa getting 12 points on the goalkeeping position was a big win. And the one thing that is annoying is that the AI team wanted Sessegnon in the starting lineup, and then just before the game, Marco Silva made some comments about how he may start from the bench. So I basically put him on the bench for Trent. Otherwise, it could have been a 95-point game week, but still, great week up to 9.8k in the world and assistant manager to go. So hopefully it can stay in the top 10k.
Yeah, strong week. Nothing much wrong with the team. I think playing Trent, given he started, I think that's still okay with the 5 points.
Yeah. Cool. Moving on to my team. Just 1 point behind, 88 points. I think the three players who made the biggest difference were Trippier, Ait Nouri, and Cunha. It's like these three were always going to be on my free hit, but they got 41 points together. Like, that's so unexpected.
And a nice Cucurella clean sheet also. That is pretty bold of you to choose Cucurella, and happy that it paid off there.
I mean, I think that it was fine to choose one Chelsea defender. I feel bad that I went Leno and Cucurella instead of Sanchez and Sessegnon. But I mean, I'm already so lucky in this free hit in general. So it would be unfair to complain for like optimizing the last 2-3 spots. So yeah, definitely very happy with it. Up to 208k. Again, this is the highest rank I've been this season. And also happy with players like Murphy and Diaz, like for taking over and returning. Huge change from last year's free hit for sure.
Same points for me, 88. No change there. Bit unlucky I felt with Evan Nilsson, a red card being rescinded and then not getting any points from that. Otherwise, it would have been probably 91 plus. Second thoughts, Bowen sitting there with 10 points. Maybe, could have played him instead of Murphy because he's definitely more talismanic than Murphy, especially with his reduced minutes. But it was just the Ipswich home fixture, which, made me think twice about that. But overall, I think just can't be too dissatisfied. Jose Sa as well with the 12 points on the bench. I've been accumulating and racking up bench points. And I just know that the week where I don't get any of these bench points will be my bench boost week. This is the way it is.
And your rank has gone up to 1.5 million, which like you gained 500k.
I'm on, I think it's the second best rank I've had all season. Best being Game Week 2. So
yeah, I mean, that doesn't count.
Pretty okay.
Yeah, I think Game Week 2 doesn't count. And I think this is the second time in recent weeks. There was a 2.5 to 2 million jump, which you made recently. And now it's a 2 to 1.5. So hopefully, like you can have 1 or 2 more big weeks and finish in the top 1 million. That would be a great comeback from where you were. I think the one disappointment in all these teams is Palmer. He looks so off it. It's unfortunate. Like he was doing everything in the first half of the season and I think looks a bit out of sorts now.
Agree. Yeah. I don't think he's worth the money. Like even I was actually thinking of maybe should I get him in given that now is the time where we can actually experiment, look at a few different options there's like money flowing around, but he doesn't look right. And Chelsea don't look right. So I don't think he's an option.
I mean, Chelsea's still doing okay and they will be pushing for Champions League. But yeah, I think on free hit, it still made sense. Like on a single week, you can still go for him. There's no budget issues. But yeah, quite disappointed with... I mean, I think he scored only once since game week 21 or something, which is crazy. Cool. Let's take a quick look at the league table. And some slight changes at the top. I think last time all the top 3 teams were neck and neck. Now the AI team has got a slight 4 point lead over Allen Evans, who's made an excellent comeback over the past few weeks, and Conte Kante not too far behind. So if you remember, Conte Kante wildcarded and they didn't have their free hit, but they had 5 free transfers. So it actually didn't affect the team at all. They had 11 players playing and a pretty good game week. So yeah, top three all within 10 points of each other. And like in terms of probability, the AI team now has a 39% probability of winning the league. Allen Evans 33 and Conte Kante 24. So proper three-way battle for the title.
And how are the chips looking between the three teams?
So the AI team has an advantage there because it still has the assistant manager chip. I don't think the other two teams.
Used all the.
Yeah, I mean, but let's see. I mean, assistant managers proper like you can bust with it. Like you can literally get 0. It's not like a triple captain or a bench boost where you get appearance point. Like you could literally end up with nothing if you go for a table bonus game. So it'll be interesting to see how the title race goes. Definitely heading to the last day. That's for sure.
And you have had a good rise as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm still like not league position wise. I'm still around 12th. But yeah, overall rank definitely made some gains.
No, I mean you're pretty close to like that. I mean, top 10. Top 10 is within sights, and we were both languishing at 20s at some point in time. So compared to where that was like maybe like 7-8 weeks ago, this is a amazing comeback.
Yeah, I mean it has been very steady, slow and steady, like probably for the past 15 weeks or something. But yeah, this week was a big gain over people who didn't free hit. I think a majority of teams still free hit. So if you look at the scores, most of the scores are like late 80s and early 90s. But yeah, it was it was nice to have the free hit everything. And like your position in the table shows that you got a red arrow, but it's because we have new additions to the league who have shown up in the middle. But yeah, I think I mean you should probably just look at overall rank because it's tough to measure success based on league position. When
25, I was looking, it's like 40 points away.
Yeah,
I still have hope.
Yeah,
let's see.
Yeah, I mean, if your team is sufficiently different enough, it's not out of the realms of impossibility. 40 points is, I mean, you will have to get lucky for sure, but it's doable. Like I think this week we'll get into it is a good chance to be different. Like there are so many decent options, no standout options for captaincy or transfers. So yeah, like definitely some room for making some gains. Cool. We look at last week's games and probably should start with Liverpool. They won the league, 20th league title, and finally won in front of their fans, 5-1 proper procession. How do you see them playing out for the rest of the season?
I'm worried because these are teams like Liverpool. They might start giving a few appearances to people just to get that medal tally. Especially given they've won the league. So I am worried about Salah's appearance. I think he'll play the last game of the season because that'll just be like, maybe not last game, but maybe even second last game. So I don't expect him to play all the upcoming games. That's impossible.
I actually feel that Salah is someone I'm a little confident about because right after the Premier League after they won the Premier League, he said that he knows he's just 2 returns away from Premier League all-time returns record. He knows that he's like 3 away from his own goals record. He definitely cares about these things. And Arne Slot, when he won the league with Feyenoord in the past, I think, he also gave extended runs to people who were chasing the Golden Boot. He has a pattern of doing it, but I wouldn't be confident about any other player. And I definitely wouldn't be confident about the defense because they may slack off a bit. But I think Salah, with a week between games, he might get early subs, but I think he should be good to start.
Yeah, I just think players like Darwin, maybe a Gakpo, like these rotation options have not played much. Jota.
Yeah.
This is the best time to play them, right? Like, after the league is won, if they still don't get any minutes, then they really will be questioning what they're doing in the team.
But again, one more thing which Slot said at Firenode after they won the league, he had a few dead rubber games, and he said that I'm not going to make changes just to give chances to people, because he said if you give chances to the second team, then the third team will start asking questions. He said you will only get to play if you deserve to play. It doesn't matter if the league is done. So if he's, I still think he'll rotate people like Luis Diaz, like who might have been more nailed if the title was still not done. But yeah, purely because of the records and the fact that Slot has a history of not changing even after the league is won, I think Salah, I'm still confident about.
I think I would get rid of him. Like, I definitely won't be captaining Salah anytime in the season again. I don't think I'd be captaining him. It's done. But I don't mind him, languishing around in the team. But for example, if Haaland is back, then I would get rid of Salah for Haaland because City have something to play for.
Yeah, I think if you're not gonna captain him, then definitely it'll be good to bet against him. But I would be scared. Like he has nothing to play for except records. Like that's such a scary thing. Like he'll just go for it. I feel like it's his chance to. I don't think he'll be in this position ever again in his career with so many returns in a season. He definitely overperformed and hit a hot streak. So I feel he'll try to maximize it. But yeah, let's see. I mean, not a bad shout if Haaland is back because City has a great run of fixtures. Yeah, I think other games, Newcastle Ipswich, like dominant performance from Newcastle. Murphy could have had even more returns. Isak with 1.5 xg getting just the one goal. Trippier coming good just when managers got him for free hit. I think we are seeing that Ipswich also, Leicester also lost 3-0. Southampton also lost. The only downside is that these teams are starting to play each other in the next remaining weeks, which is a bit of a disappointment. Like Leicester is playing Ipswich and Southampton in the next 2 game weeks, which is a bit of a waste, I feel.
Especially when we're trying to target something different and go for some ceiling,
Yeah. Any other game that you want to talk about?
No, I think definitely the Wolves Leicester, we spoke about it. Bournemouth Man United 1-1. What do you think about Man United? Like, I think is that a team to target? Because given we spoke about Leicester, Ipswich, who are the teams to target? I think that's the big question. Like for the winner of this, and I have personally been looking at Man United and Tottenham.
I think spot on. Like that's exactly where I stand. It's weird. These are 2 teams which are looking likely to be in the Europa League final. But when it comes to the Premier League, along with Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton, they are by far the worst. I think that you can actually expect teams to even thrash them. Like if a decent team plays against them, they have nothing to play for. They are definitely going to rest all their players. There's no reason for them to there's no reason to play Bruno, for example, even though he's historically always played. I do see even this game, in fact, United did miss a lot of chances, and they were still trailing 1-0 because I think the quality is just not there on the pitch. They didn't rotate this game because there was enough of a gap to the Europa League. But I'm pretty sure this weekend you'll see a completely changed team for both United and Spurs. So it is good to target them. Cool. One team which has not been doing so well is Forest. Saw some stat that after these 3 relegated teams, Forest is the 4th worst defense in the last 6 game weeks. And they lost 2-0 to Brentford again. Maybe the hot streak of Wood and Sells.
And it's unfortunate because Palace have some good fixtures coming up. But I am worried about investing in Palace, even though there's something to play for and good fixtures.
Forest, you mean?
Forest.
Yeah, it's sad. It's unfortunate they're down to 6th actually. So I think Chelsea's probably definitely gonna get Champions League because now there are 5 spots. In fact, if Forest had won today, Chelsea would have had table bonus against Liverpool this week. It would have been 6th versus 1st, but that didn't happen. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I was hoping to see Forest make it to the Champions League somehow. They got knocked out of the FA Cup as well, so bit of a disappointing end to the season potentially if they don't climb back in.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to the teams to target for this week. Yeah, I think in attack, like we spoke about United, they're right up there to target. So City against Wolves, 2.4 goals. Brentford versus United, above 2 goals. The clear standouts.
Chelsea 1.8 versus Liverpool is surprising compared to Liverpool 1.5 versus Chelsea.
I think Chelsea has a lot to play for, right? Like they have the Champions League to play for. Maybe Liverpool will be a little, and also this is at Stamford Bridge. But yeah, even I'm surprised to see that, and that's why I spoke about the table bonus, because when I looked at the odds, Chelsea has really good odds to win or draw this match, like the highest out of any team. It's just that now they don't have table bonus, but I don't know. Like in my mental model, it doesn't feel like Chelsea should be favorites over Liverpool, even in this current state.
I think probably there's some factor of mass rotation being considered here, because the game after the title win, I think there is more rotation than other, because it's kind of like a rest. Who knows what type of celebrations there were, and whether we had the Diego Costa story before, whether players are mentally in the right frame of mind to play a game again. So it's possible some of these factors are also put into the probabilities here, and might be true, might be valid.
Yeah, they didn't get the trophy yet though, so it might not have been an all-out party, but definitely it'll be a big release of like the anticipation that they've had for so long. So I do expect there will be a drop-off for Liverpool. And Chelsea, on the other hand, they had a European semi-final where they rotated players. Like imagine, like Palmer was on the bench and like Sancho was playing, and imagine doing that in it's so, the Conference League is a walk in the park for them. Maybe the final could be tricky if it's either Real Betis or Fiorentina, but otherwise
like a stage fixture of Champions League.
Yeah.
Where they'll be like the third place team in the third favorite in a group or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Maresca rotate for that final to save it for like game week 37 Premier League or something, because yeah, and I think, I mean, we are seeing West Ham also very high on goals projection because they're playing Spurs, and the other teams are Everton and Aston Villa. Maybe Watkins is an option now that Rashford is out for the season. Any other attacks that stand out?
No, I'm looking at West Ham and Brentford City. I think these are the three attacks that I'm looking at for this week at least. Newcastle, I think there are goals in the Brighton games. Brighton are like very, very, they're a fun team. Newcastle scored goals as well. So I am looking forward to that game as well.
Yeah, I think Newcastle may be underrated a bit here. 1.7 seems a bit low. Leicester is 1.6. Any farewell for Vardy in your team?
Oh, no space. Love to, but no.
And what about City options? Because De Bruyne is there. Haaland is training. Marmoush, will he be the main striker? What are you thinking?
This game, probably Marmoush. Haaland, clearly the plan for Haaland will be to come back for that final. And then maybe just like stretch after that final. So it's probably going to be eased in. I think Marmoush's minutes might be numbered. That's just, with De Bruyne and so many options that City have, it's just hard to say whether I mean, he might have to go soon.
He did play when Haaland was, I mean, he was playing regularly even when Haaland was on the pitch. But yeah, he definitely won't be this shot hogging central figure. Although he's been disappointing in the double game week. Like I captained him and he got 4 points over 180 minutes, which was disappointing.
I mean, the crazy thing will be if Marmoush misses out on that Southampton game and Haaland comes in. I think that's where everyone will have a big decision, because this might be the best game of the season left in terms of ceiling for an individual player, which is Haaland versus Southampton. Having said that, I triple captain him in this reverse fixture at home and got nothing. But I'm more than willing to make the same mistake again.
I can see that people who have triple captain, like if Haaland is back for that game, that's perfect to target. I can see triple captainers going for that fixture. And let's take a look at defense as well. I think we're coming to a point in the season where defense you can't really rely on. Like there are too many varying motivations for teams, and maybe other than the teams that are fighting for Europe, I wouldn't even be confident of Arsenal or Liverpool defenses anymore. They don't really have the same reason to keep it as tight as they usually do. But in terms of the numbers, Everton and City are the clear standouts in odds, and you have Villa, Arsenal, and Brentford behind them. Brentford against United is like such a plum fixture.
I mean, yeah, that screams goal. Definitely, possibly even a captaincy option, both Visa and Mbomo.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely on my mind. I think it's like we'll go into it when we look at the individual options, but it's a week where you have a lot of okay options. Like there's no obvious pick, and I'm personally leaning towards Brentford transfer in and captaincy.
Yeah. I like Palace defense for this game, Forest, because of, I mean, I think Palace is a pretty solid team defensively in general. And Forest have not been in good touch. So I do like, for example, Muno is where you get that attacking return as well. I like Palace defense.
Yeah, and we'll talk about Palace right now because like let's move on to the assistant manager projections. And finally, for me, this sheet is finally valid because I'll be activating my chip this week, and I am almost surely gonna do it on Glasner. Like the metric that we usually look at, win percent plus draw percent, is 69%, which is one of the highest that you usually see. I mean, I have to go for it. I don't want to go for Pep and play it safe. But yeah, I don't feel fully confident because the Palace we're seeing in the FA Cup is so different from the one we're seeing in the league. In the FA Cup, it was like they were playing with twice or thrice the intensity, and they just brushed aside Aston Villa, and Villa have been so good in the league. And Palace on the other hand are getting thrashed in the league. So I don't trust their defense as much. I'm more maybe confident of their attacking options because like they may have 40 minutes or 30 minutes of some nice football. The other thing is that Glasner keeps making early substitutions with players like Mateta or Sarr. Like they might just go off at halftime. And
that's possible, yeah. Especially Mateta has been like getting randomly hooked off.
So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going for Glasner. There are other options. Hertzler against Newcastle has a 59% chance of getting a table bonus, and Pep has a 73% chance of winning. I wouldn't go looking beyond that. But I do want to call out attention to Maresca's odds against Liverpool. 44% of win, 26% of draw. That is 70% chance. If it was a table bonus game, I don't think I would have had the confidence to go for it. Because Liverpool can still win, but yeah, pretty interesting numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think you have to go for Glasgow. It's super exciting few weeks, and I think you should just go as much as possible for table bonus. And I mean, it can be a huge gamble, right? You could get like 50 points out of this potentially.
No, but I mean, it's
3 weeks.
It's as good as a table bonus game can get. With 69%, I have to go for it. But yeah, it can also be 0, and I just have to mentally be okay with that and be happy with my decision, which will be the tough thing to do. Cool. Yeah, and I mean, there are other assistant manager options for the next couple of weeks. I think I'll definitely be making transfers. 2 weeks from now, there is a West Ham Forest game where West Ham is at home and Forest is visiting West Ham basically. Again, it'll be a team on the beach against a team with something to play for, but I'm sure the odds will look something similar or like something maybe slightly lesser. That's probably what I'm targeting. And for next week, I'll probably go with City against Southampton to have a safe one in the middle because there's no standout table bonus next week. I think there's Brighton Newcastle. Maybe I can. Oh, no, the Brighton Newcastle is this week actually. Yeah, there's nothing standing out. But yeah, I'll go with Glasner and let's do a post-mortem next week. Cool. Yeah, finally the fixture ticker has reached a point where we just have 4 game weeks. No doubles or blanks expected, the Premier League announced today. There is a small 1% chance of Spurs Villa being moved, but the FA Cup finals are definitely not going to cause any doubles, which I think is disappointing for like those of us who have chips left, and also for managers who may have been loaded up on Villa and hoping for some doubles. But also this fixture ticker doesn't look exciting. Ipswich is at the top, Forest is at the top, Everton is at the top. Um, but yes, I think City and Brentford are the two standout teams.
Yeah, that's it, I think. And maybe West Ham because of Bowen being so good. That's it.
And then Leicester. Yeah, I mean West Ham also. Bowen, yes, he's a
I mean,
talent.
Forest are genuinely really good fixtures, and they've been a good team. If they rediscover their form, then they're a solid team to target. I just don't know whether I feel comfortable. For example, I think Wood now seems good. Like, I mean, one of the top scorers of the season, and they have Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea pretty leaky as well. Palace, who are not so bothered about the league, seems really solid.
Yeah, it's just that is he a better option than say a Wissa, who's been
Yeah.
absolutely like he's been excellent. He's not just been okay, and and his underlying data also matches it. Like he has always consistently overperformed it. But yeah, I wouldn't look at the teams with at the bottom half here. Like I know players from Bournemouth.
But what do Brentford have to play for? Like, why are they playing so well?
No, I think
Where's that energy?
no, I think they have a chance for Europe. Like I think they could do Europa League or Conference League. Like it will be a big deal for a team like Brentford to get into Europe. But I think in general also Brentford are the type of team that play like this, right? Like I don't think they're a team that typically goes on the beach. They always seem to have something to play for. What about Newcastle? Their fixtures have definitely turning, um, but I think Brighton away is still a decent game.
I like Newcastle. I mean, Brighton away is a good game. Chelsea is a good game. I don't like the last two that much, Arsenal and Everton. Everton may be okay as a last fixture. I mean, I feel no. I wanted to get rid of Newcastle, as you remember, right? Because at that point in time, I felt there were better options, and there was a blank coming up for Newcastle apart from the free hit. So that makes sense. But at this point, I don't feel like getting rid of Isaac because I look at the fixtures here. There's no standout team in terms of either forwards or midfielders or anyone to get. So
Makes
I'll
sense.
just hold. Unless Haaland comes up, in which case I'll get Haaland for Isaac.
Makes sense. Cool. Let's move on then. We look at the player-wise projections. We're basically reaching the end because the 4-week forecast is going all the way to the end of the season. So from now, every week we'll be making more greedy decisions based on 3 weeks and then 2 weeks and then just 1 week. In terms of forwards, Isak, Cunha, Wood and Wissa are the clear standouts. And then Evan Nilsson, Watkins, Mateta. So actually, I think after a long time, it feels like there are 5 to 6 options who we know will play and are decent options, like with okay fixtures. It wasn't the case for a long time.
Yeah, I mean Visa is great. I would like to get Visa for sure. Wood is more of a gamble, but I think Wood has potential to be good over the next few as well.
I'm surprised that the AI rates Cunha so highly. Like
Yeah, I mean I'm surprised because they do. I mean they have City now, and then it's. I think the entry point's the problem. I wanted to get Cunha in my main team, like for the Man United fixture. I think the problem with Cunha is the entry point of City away, which is not great.
Yeah, but the AI seems to love it, projecting 5 points for this week.
But that's very surprising, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that might be the transfer it will make also. Like Mateta's 3.77 this week, Cunha's 5. I mean, I'm gonna go purely with the numbers, so it will be Cunha in for Mateta when he has City away. I think typical AI team move, but with a top 10k spot on the line. I mean, as a human, I'm uncomfortable with it.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on to midfielders. I think it's less exciting here for multiple reasons. So Salah, Mbumo, great options. Diaz, rotation risk. Bowen, good option. Talisman. Kluivert, Bournemouth have tough fixtures. Murphy, he's getting subbed off early. Saka is going to get rotated. Bruno's getting rotated. Semenyo will play but tough fixtures, and then Szoboszlai also probably, we don't know motivation. So I think compared to forwards, midfielders seems a little more bare.
Agree. Yeah, I don't. I mean, at this point of the season, it's just hard to know who to rely on because there are teams who are very stable who have nothing to play for. There are teams who are, like on the beach and but have good fixtures. It's very hard to understand who to get. So the way I'm looking at it is just kind of looking at talismans for the various teams because they have the least chance of rotation. They probably have the most motivation to do well because they're on the running for some sort of statistic. So I'm just targeting players like Mbuemo, Bowen, Kluivert, maybe just the best players in each team, essentially.
Interesting that Palmer is not on this list. Like, has he dropped off? Like, I'm just checking. Wow, yeah, he has dropped out of the top 10.
I think pretty deservedly, right? Like the statistics have the points.
Yeah.
It has to catch up to the projections.
Yeah, I think it's been an extended period which has finally seen him drop out of the top 10. But yeah, I'm surprised that it's been that long, which is what it means.
And it's actually happened. Like we always thought it's just bound to turn around.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate. I mean, I'm sure he'll come back, but very unfortunate for our FPL teams in the last few weeks. Cool. Yeah, I think then, Mbumo's clear standout for me. I think last 4 fixtures are great. I would get great entry point this week. Good captaincy option. Because, it's not often you see Salah having a under 7 projections. I think with Chelsea, the fixtures do get tricky. And add on top of that motivation. So, yeah. Anything else on midfielders?
No, I think that on my end as well.
Yeah, maybe Eze and Sar. I think I wouldn't buy them if you don't have them, and it's okay to sell them, given they don't have much to play for.
Okay.
Cool. Moving on to defense. It's like a bunch of different teams showing up here. Trent, Tarkowski, Guardiola, Aitnouri, Van Dijk, Neco Williams, Sessegnon. Nothing excites me. I feel like all teams are gonna concede.
I think at this point in the season, defense maybe only City because they have something to play for, fairly okay fixtures. Beyond City, I just it's just whoever exists, just pray to God that they get something out of it.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially because we've all wildcarded recently, you'll definitely have options on the bench as well. Just figure out which 3 defenders to play and don't waste transfers on it. That's what I would do. Cool. Now we're talking.
Defenders and keepers are very boring now. No one's looking for future points and setting up your team for a fixture run. Just at this moment, what's important to focus on is who can get me maximum points.
Yeah.
Maybe next week in terms of ceiling, which comes in your midfielders and forwards.
Yeah, because transfers are so precious now. You want each transfer to be very impactful. If we're saying that about defenders, even worse with goalkeepers.
Yeah.
If you have a playing keeper, just play them. Yeah. Cool. Let's look at next week's teams. We'll start with the AI team. So currently the team on screen is Raya in goal, Saliba, Munoz, Guardiola in defense, Saka, Savinho, Murphy and Salah captain, and then Isak, Mateta, Marmoush. So AI team has 3 free transfers and assistant manager coming into play. It will be making 2 of them. So Saka will go out, Mbumo will come in, Mateta will go out, Cunha will come in, and Glasner will come in without using a free transfer. So those will be the moves. I'm not happy with the Cunha move. Otherwise, I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And Eze is benched. Bench is also quite decent actually. Livramento.
Captain on Salah?
Yeah, it's captain on Salah. I think that will be a different. I think any captain's a differential this week. Everyone can. There are many captaincy options. Marmoush is an option. Isak is an option.
Yeah.
Mbumo, Vissa, Salah. Any thoughts on who should be captain?
I like Isak because I just think that game has the potential to be very exciting, right? High scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Isak and just the stability that he's going to play. Important player. Although he has been coming off, similar to Murphy and other players, he has been coming off in the 70-minute mark. But he still has the potential to be very explosive. So I like Isak.
Yeah, I think after Salah and Haaland, Isak is probably the biggest reliable. Like I mean, like we had Son, Hazard, Sanchez back in the day. I think Isaac is that level, so it's okay. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable captaining him. It's unfortunate that Saka's not not an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I sold him. I will come to my team, but I don't think it's an option at all.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be selling him as well. So this is my team. Raya in goal, Konza, Munoz, Guardiola in defense. I'll be benching Kivior just to avoid the double Arsenal defense. In midfield, I have Salah, Savinho, Saka, and Sar. And in attack, I have Isak, Mateta, Marmoush. I'll be doing Saka to Mbumo, Mateta to Wissa, and Glasner in. I have 2 free transfers, so I can do that for free, and I'll be probably captaining Mbumo against United, and I'll bench Murphy. So the only thing is, since City is the first game tomorrow, and the deadline is at 10:30 a.m. I think, which is good. We'll hopefully get some team news, and I can decide whether to start Savinho or not. Because Wolves at home will be a great fixture to start him, and if he plays. But yeah, do you think?
Good team. I think makes sense. Sar and Mateta and Saka for Mbumo Wissa. That's great for sure.
Yeah, and I do have to get rid of one Palace player to get Glasner in. So I just hope Mateta doesn't go on top. Cool. Moving on to your team now.
I already made 2 transfers. I got Saka out and Sar out for Bowen and Mbuemo. Again, just target Tottenham and Man United. And I don't think Saka will play, or he won't play much, I think, this weekend. So, and similar with Sar, with the Palace, I mean, I was never a fan of Sar anyway, so I wanted to get him out. So Bowen and Mbuemo are right in. I still have another transfer. I'm debating whether to use it or not. Yeah, if I do make it, the other transfer will be Mateta to Wood or Wissa. Not sure whether I'll make that or just wait. I think this conversation has kind of made me think about whether I should be starting Murphy instead of Mateta, just because, again, like we spoke about Newcastle Brighton potentially being exciting, and Mateta being hauled off randomly, and Palace not having much to play for.
Yeah, I think that maybe something to keep in mind is Murphy's also getting hauled off early, like 60 minutes, 62 minutes, 65 minutes. But these
so maybe the option is to make the Mateta transfer to Wissa or Wood and play him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the aggressive move. But when are you planning to play a bench boost, and how will that look? That will probably decide.
Yeah, so I'm looking at getting in players only who have a good game week 38, because that's when I'm playing the bench boost.
That's so risky, because 38 will be mass rotation, right? Like, you never know who will play. You should probably
it's the last week. I have no idea when to play it, like, because it's hard to know, like, with FA Cup coming up, maybe they'll get rotated, right? Like some of these, if I thought of playing it this week, I had Saka and a bunch of these players, maybe they'll get rotated. Saliba will get rotated. Palace will get rotated. So by game week 38, I think I don't think there's anything immediately after 38, right? If I'm not mistaken, or maybe there could be.
Sorry, what?
There's no immediate cup fixture after game week 38.
No, nothing but last week of the game. Like, there's always big players benched, like Mane, like those level players would always be benched on game week 38. I honestly would just play it this week. If I think the only doubt you might have is Saliba, and so far he's never been benched, like even through the Champions League. I think everyone else you should be quite confident of a start. Is there an alternative to Mateta? Like, he should get at least 45, and anyway you're starting him. Murphy, I think, will start. Livramento and Martinez, decent fixtures.
Mateta, get rid of him for Wissa, that's for sure.
Yeah, then I feel you can just play it this week, because you at least know your bench will play. Otherwise you'll be waiting for things to happen which could worsen your bench, and you might have to use transfers for it. But I mean, look at how the bench looks for next few weeks as it stands. But I would just play it. Like, even if you just get 2 points from everyone on the bench, and I think you might get more. Like, Villa against Fulham is a decent clean sheet option, and Newcastle against Brighton, and even Arsenal against Bournemouth. I don't like. I wouldn't play it in 38. That's too risky.
Because you need 15 players to play in 38, and someone will get rotated. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've been feeling like that's the same problem in any of the weeks, because I have no idea who's going to play except for a certain set of teams. So yeah, but
more confidence in this week, right? Like, maybe, like we said, Saliba and Mateta, I still think he'll at least start, or whatever. Yeah, anyway, he's gone, so it'll just be Saliba. I think you can go for it. think about it. You have less than 12 hours. This is a literal last minute FPL.
Yeah.
And captaincy, I know you said Isak. Like, what do you think about the other options? Like Marmoush, or what about Salah?
I like Bowen as the second option.
That's a good
apart from Isak, because I think Tottenham are pretty garbage, right? Like the Man United are still okay. Like I feel like they're a decent team, right? They'll at least like get a draw, they'll do something. Tottenham are pretty garbage. Like they're just really bad. And what Bowen is playing pretty high up, and West Ham are also not great, but he's a good player. So I think Bowen would be my second choice.
Yeah, and it's so weird. Tottenham are probably one game away from Champions League, and so are United potentially. Like they're comfortably won. Like today, I was checking the scores, and both teams were leading 3-0 in Europa League semi-final in the first half. And I was like, what? How is this happening? Tottenham, I think, have lost almost 18 or 19 games in the league or overall this season, which is what happened to them? Like, how are they so bad? Usually, I have Palace is playing Spurs away next week. In a normal season, that would be table bonus, but now Palace are above. It's bizarre.
I think Bowen or maybe Mbeumo, like you said, they'd be my options.
Cool. But yeah, I think good chance to go different and make up some ground. I would consider the bench boost if I were you. And
I'll think about it. I'll be thinking about it for the next hour at least. As long as I don't forget the damn deadline again.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. I saw some managers online who forgot to activate their free hit or slept through the deadline. And like this week's free hit also was so impactful. The non-free hit versus free hit delta is like 60 to 70 points, and it sucks when that happens. But yeah, cool. I think that's it for this week's podcast. Quickly heading to the end of the season. Any last words, Vikas?
Best of luck, and hope you all have a good week.